Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Hope you can hear me and see my screen. All right, thanks. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Edureka session on DevOps today, Azure DevOps. So we have a link, Meetup, meetup.com. So Meetup is the group where you have all the members to be here, and you have these discussions, events, and a lot of these technology concepts like introduction to machine learning, deep learning, all of this stuff which is also existing here. And our agenda today is what is DevOps and what is Azure DevOps, components of Azure DevOps, and so on, a little bit of hands-on. What is DevOps? DevOps is in the name itself, you see it's dev and operations, right? You see the DS cap and OS capital letters. We can straight away, we can make it that it is a development and operations. So it's a combination of practices and tools which are designed to increase any companies or any organization's strength, ability to deliver applications and services faster than traditional software development process, right? So we have traditional process takes a lot of weeks, months to be able to develop any tool and to make it changes. You get into repo, all of this stuff. It takes a lot of time to send the updates from one environment to other environment, like let's say development, test, and prod. So through DevOps, we have the tools are designed to deliver the services faster than any other traditional development processes. So DevOps example, it's a wall between development and operations, often results in an environment where the two teams don't trust each other and each is walking around, right? So DevOps approach results in a collaboration between the two teams where they work with shared goals. Like also about the DevOps engineer. DevOps engineer will do what will he do? He introduces the tools, methodologies throughout the SDLC, which is software development life cycles from coding to deployment. All right, DevOps is also a very good career now, and it's booming in the industry. And DevOps doesn't, it's usually required some coding knowledge, and that doesn't mean it's a necessary or it's a necessity for every member of the team. So it's essential to work in a DevOps environment. So you don't have to be able to code, but you need to know what is coding and why it matters, right? So we have tools here, DevOps tools. We have, so there are a number of DevOps tools which are there, which also launched in the 2020 as well. We have Slack, which was famous, which was launched in 2013. This is one of the top communication tools used by the effective collaboration, right? And we also have Jenkins, and we also have Docker, Phantom, Nagios, and Ansible, etc. And here we can see Docker, we can see Puppet, Chef, Splunk, Nagios, Slack. We can see the stack, and Jira, Maven, all of those Git repos, all are, we can see in the integration part of it. And we have plan, code, build, test. We are seeing all of these tools. And then deploy, operate, monitor. The tools are Docker, Vagrant, Puppet, Chef. All of these tools are there. In integration, we have Bamboo and Hudson, also Jenkins in the middle of it. All right. Okay, so we have DevOps tools and stages. As I said, we have seen some of the tools, and if we go to the stages, which is very important. So basically we have version control, continuous integration, all of these stages which we are seeing it here, right? So we are in DevOps stages. So we have version control, which is a stage one, we can say, and this version control maintains different versions of the code. I think if you are coming from development background, you already know about the version control, right? It's basically subversion which maintains the different versions of the code. It's a source code management. Let's say we have a lot of versions of the code and we want to get back to the code which was previous version or something like that. Version control is the one which gives that flexibility for us. Number two, we have CI, which is continuous integration. So normally DevOps, you see this naming convention CI/CD, right? So what is CI/CD? CI is continuous integration. CD is continuous delivery. So when you say continuous integration, what does it mean? It means the compile, validate, code review, unit testing, integration testing, all of these are part of continuous build. When you come to the delivery, it's like deploying the deploying the application to test servers, performing your UAT, all of this build application to test servers, all of this will come into the continuous delivery. And when you come into the deployment, this is the actual part of once you test your application on and it is ready for your prod server for release. So basically it's for release, right? So deploying the tested application on the prod server for release. So configuration management and also containerization is part of the continuous deployment. So first we are saying version control, which is source code. Second, we are saying continuous build. You can remember like the build, and then testing is in your delivery, and in your continuous deployment, you have configuration management only, right? And then containerization. Once the release has been done, it's only about management and containerization and configurations part of it, right? DevOps stages, remember guys, version control, CI, continuous integration, continuous delivery, continuous deployment, right? And we'll move on to Microsoft Azure. And why is Microsoft Azure? So Microsoft Azure, Azure has made advances over the years. It has now all the features and some important aspects where Azure performs better than other clouds is PaaS, platform as a service. Azure is doing great. IaaS, we have AWS, but platform as a service, we have Azure. And then .NET compatibility, which is very, very good because given the Microsoft platform, we have security offerings, hybrid solutions, integrated, all of these stuffs are available here. Okay, so let me quickly move back to the portal. So we have a little different definition here. Microsoft Azure is a growing collection of integrated cloud services which developers and IT professionals are using to build, deploy, and manage applications. So if I go to my portal, we have something called Azure DevOps organization, right? And apart from that, we have all the Azure services here, which are existing. So creating a resource is very simple here. Create a resource and you just search your web app or any other service. You can just create it from there. So normal scenario, it takes in on-prem, it takes weeks or sometime a month to create a web application. Here it takes a minute or so to be able to create a web app. But we are not getting into it fully Azure services because we are covering DevOps as well here, right? So when so DevOps organization, this is the one which shows for you. So once you see the DevOps org, you can create your DevOps organization. So basically you will have for portal, if you have your account created, once you have the account with your proper free account, Microsoft is giving 30 days free accounts with all the services, giving you free for your benefit learning, play around those services for 30 days. So once you click on the DevOps, you land to this page where you have My Azure DevOps Organizations. You can click that My Azure DevOps Organizations and you'll go to DevOps. So here it gets plan smarter, collaborate, and ship faster with a set of modern DevOps services is what it says. So we have, so I created a DevOps project, which I named it as Edureka. And then we have this overview summary, dashboards, wiki boards, everything available here, right? Like our next set of slides will explain about that, right? We have these features. What are the features? We have key features which are listed here. On demand provisioning, that means any service which we are wanted to do, it can be provisioned on demand within very short time, right? And we can scale out and scale down depending on the need, and we can pay only what we are using it or consuming it, right? And when you talk about PaaS services, we only focus only on our PaaS service, not about hardware and all other application server or web server. And we can utilize the skills and knowledge of the resources, right? So let's take an example of DevOps also we created. If we take an example of any other, let's take a web app example. Just now we were trying to create a web app. So it's just the on-demand service which will be created. So web app is a PaaS service, platform as a service. If we want to build a web application, we can just create it in a minute or few minutes in Azure. You can just try and create a test web app here. So this is your Azure portal. If you are interested to pursue more on Azure, you can go ahead and create your account on portal.azure.com. Okay, we have resource groups which are already available. If not, you can create a new one. You can name it as test resource group. And your web app, also you can name it as web app test, which was already taken. So give it a name, which unique name, which is available just for a testing purpose. It's taking web app edu 987, which is also, oh, I think we have an invalid character here. Let's see, what is that, which is it not taken? The name must be at least 2 characters. Okay, web app. We've created a resource group which is there, and I'm not sure why is it invalid character. 1 second. Okay, underscore is fine. Yeah, we have given some random name, that's okay, because we have similar names which are already been taken, and we don't have the space acceptance, but we have web app 1 which is taken, right? Or all right, correct. Okay, so let's give it the name, and we have this publish option which can be taken as code or Docker container, right? When you click on Docker container, it asks for you an operating system, and if you select code, it asks for your runtime stack. So on what coding language or on what platform or framework you want to execute your web applications code, right? So .NET, .NET 5, ASP.NET, everything is available for it. When you say early access, it's just coming under preview. It will be available sooner. So you can select 3.1 LTS with Windows as well, and you can select the location which is there. Default app service plan is the plan where this web application will be hosted, right? So there is something called this app service plan where you have this 1.7 GB, 7.0 GB of memory which is available, and you can go to the monitoring part of it. For your web app monitoring, we have some options which we can select as well. Application Insights is one of the technology where we have this monitoring available for that, right? Tags are only the naming values. If you want to put your tag for a value or add your cost center or organization's specific team group, you can just tag it to this web application which we are going to create now. Okay guys, we're just on the end part of it, review and create. Once we click on the create, the web application for us will be created and it will be available for our developers instantly, right? Right, so we have this deployment in progress, and within few seconds or a minute or so, it should create it now. So this is how on demand exactly means, guys, right? On demand provisioning, that means we have provisioned very quickly. We have created a service via Azure, right? So on demand, scale out and scale up, we also there is an so it's already created. If you see here, deployment is complete, and we can go to the resource here. So deployment is already complete, and we have this web application ready, and we have a URL. So this is a PaaS service, as I said. URL is here. Once you click on the URL, and URL will have azurewebsites.net. This is azurewebsite.net, right? So we have this web application ready. You see here, within a minute, we have created a website which is instantly available for developers. Now, developers only need to take work on their coding part of it. They can concentrate only on the code, and these are all the codes which are highlighting here, right? The famous ones are PHP, Python, Ruby, Java, Node.js, and .NET Core, which are there. And you can go, so have your code ready. You can straight away, developer can go to the deployment center, or they can build their code, right? All right, so this is available. The website is up and running, and we can go to the deployment center. Once you click on the deployment center, it will take you to the deployment center when you are to get your code published, right? All right, so this is web app which is already created in very short time, and we can only pay for what we use. And the scale out and scale in option which was there, I would like to show. Scale up and scale out, these are the options which are there instantly available, where you can scale out the load which you wanted. App service plan to give more power or compute, let's say compute for production workloads. We have a lot of app service plan which are available, and dev test, we have other pricing tests which are available, right? So when you say scale out, that means you scale your VMs, right? So you scale your machines, which are their instances, you can call it as. We have the total number of instances which are scale out also, we can do it here. That's what it means, pay only, and we developers can focus only on those processes, right? And don't need to worry about the hardware part of it, server part of it, right? Domains, let's speak about domains here. So we have different domains. Compute, we talked a little bit about it. Compute, what was I said about the app service plan which was available, right? So we are also looking at in scale up. App service plan is your exact infra which is available, right? Storage, we have storage, something called storage account in Azure. Database, we have Azure databases for SQL, Cosmos DB, so which are available. Migration, we can do network content delivery. Also, we have available management tools. Security, identity, compliance, like Azure AD. Security tools, we have messaging. Service bus is one example for messaging, which is also there in Azure. So if you see here, we have storage account. The storage account is nothing but your storage, and SQL database. We have similarly, we have Cosmos DB as well. Okay, components of DevOps. Let's see the components of DevOps and what we have. Azure Boards, Azure Repos, right? And Azure Pipelines, artifacts, and test plans also are available. Right, so they need to remember, once you go to your portal and if you open the portal here, let me show you, you can see the same things which are there here, right? So Azure Boards, you see it here. These are a work tracking system with Kanban boards, dashboards, or any other reporting kind of activity which you can perform on the boards. We have work items, backlog, sprints, all of these are available in the boards. Repos is a famous one. As you know, we have this hosted, cloud hosted private Git repository service. This is, the repo is a repository, Git repository service which is given in Azure. And we have test plans also, solution for test and capturing data about defects and all of those stuff, right? Pipelines is a famous one. You want to do everything via pipeline, you get your code ready and you can do it via pipelines which are available as well. So it's like it's the pipeline is, you know, again, you know, a great example for the CI/CD testing, deployment, and then that can connect to any other Git repository, right? And we have artifacts is for it's a hosting facility for like example NuGet packages or a Maven or npm kind of stuff which are there, right? Okay, Azure artifacts. Yeah, I think we have seen the artifacts, right? All right, so let's get back to the next one, which is Azure Boards. And we see what Azure Boards is about. It's Azure Boards is a service for managing the work for your software projects, right? Azure Boards does just bring the rich set of capabilities, including native support for Scrum, Kanban, customizable dashboards, and integrated reporting. The 5 core features also has been given here, which you can see like Azure Boards. What we have um, work items, boards, backlogs, sprints, also the dashboards which are available. Okay, work items, we have, it's the artifact used to track any work on the Azure board. Each work item uses a state model to track and communicate the progress. And each of the project, like for example, I have a project here, which is, I named it as Edureka, but and this one will also come as pre-configured, will comes with a pre-configured Kanban board for managing the flow of boards are also highly customizable, right? Allowing you to add the columns, and once you create your DevOps project, you can create your Kanban boards, work items, all the boards by navigating into your Azure DevOps organizations. And you have project settings here. Once you click on the project settings, you will also see the permissions related settings, teams, notifications, project configuration, GitHub connections, all of those pipeline related settings also available here, like agent pools, parallel jobs, all of those stuff. Okay, and we have org settings. So here we have project settings, right? So we have organization settings as well, which you can see by clicking it here, and all your DevOps projects will appear here, right? Backlogs also help. It's in the boards, and then comes to the backlogs, which will help you keep things in order of priority and understand the relationship between your work. Sprints are also widely used. It gives you the ability to create increments of your work from your for your team. And it's like a sprint team. Through sprint, what we can do, we can accomplish together, right? So collaboration and accomplishment of anything which is increment of the big chunk of work or qualification work will be achieved via sprint, right? Dashboards again, it's the complete, it's like a full of details. It says rich canvas for creating your dashboards, and you can add your widgets here, and you can track progress. So boards, as I said, it's like dashboard, and you can add widgets. Repo is one of the important aspect of the DevOps, right? It's a Git service which has unlimited private repositories with all your code review tools, code reviews, advanced file management, searching code, policies of the branch, which will ensure you high quality code. Artifacts again, as you manages the dependencies in your code base, right? When you have the code base in your, it's also the code base provides you easy tools for your immutability and performance of the components. So when you click here, we have boards, repos, right? Which are everything is available here. Pipeline, test plan, artifacts. So artifacts, we have seen it in the portal. Click on it. If you have the code bases which are there, you can see your dependencies there, and it provides the easy way of management through artifacts. So we can also connect to the feed or create a feed in artifacts, right? Thanks everyone.